preacher man. Ain't no light to see. All those plans I made for myself, I got nobody else to lean on.
Welcome to everyone joining us to experience stories of resilience, hope, perseverance, and joy.
Move over to a sport chair, basketball wheelchair.
Category of Best Video are...
We love you guys.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there. Great to see you today. Big Biz Show, bigbizshow.com. Sully, Mike Costa. And let's say hello to the day trader Quattro. Great to see you guys. Wow, monsters of rock. Boom! Hey, like that. So we have activated again our massive audience on TikTok, which is something I would have never thought that I would be involved in. But
it's viral, bro.
Sully Speaks Money has gone viral. It really has gone viral with some of our stuff. We got new content coming up there. But I was also noticing that Devin Doan, who is our digital live content producer, you'll see him doing stuff here on the show. He's an editor here. He's a cameraman here. He's a content producer here. He's really our utility. He's a studio hack.
He's super good at what he does.
So have you seen his not political, but news story explanations on social media? Starts off with a mug that says probably vodka. He goes, takes a big sip and goes, let's talk about it. And then he goes. So we're going to dip our toe into. So there he is back there in the dark corner of this. Show that again. There he is. That's him. That's him. He's ducking, actually.
Is he chained up?
Yeah, he's ducking. Yeah, good stuff. So there you have it. Probablyvodka.org is the name of Devin's website. We've got one of my favorite people, David Dodd, in studio today. Or I beg your pardon, via Zoom today from GeoVax. Take it away, Mike. Who do we got?
He is, as you said, he is an all-time favorite with the Big Biz Show audience. Ours, obviously, the chairman and CEO of GeoVax Labs Incorporated, Mr. David Dodd, back with us here on the Big Biz Show.
There he is. David, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
Good here.
Hey, I got a question for you. Because you were at the tip of the spear of all this, and you're a clinical stage biotech company. Of course, their stock symbol GeoVax. You can go to geovax.com. And you have a COVID-19 vaccine currently in phase 2 clinical trials, but this is a different sort of animal than we've seen with the existing vaccines. And before we get to that specifically, I want to ask you, David, if the existing COVID endemic versus pandemic, we're seeing numbers. Is this a different, is this a new Lambda variant? Is this a different, what are we seeing here across the country? Because we're seeing cities kind of look a little bit like not 2020 necessarily, but maybe 2021. What's going on?
Yeah, this XBB 1.5, this latest variant seems to be highly transmissible. It doesn't seem to be quite as serious as previous ones have been, but it is highly transmissible. And this again goes back to the continued evolving nature of this virus and the need to have vaccines that are a much broader in terms of their ability to address the virus. And what we always say is encompassing or getting ahead of the virus rather than chasing after it. Which is what we've been doing now for 2+ years.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is because we're seeing these spikes and then they're going down quickly. Is that a result of more vaccinations, or is that just a result of how this bug is working out there in our country?
Yeah, I think it's probably more related to the latter, to the inherent nature of the latest variant. Probably there's some role being played in the various vaccinations, but what we're finding when you think about the Paxlovid, I mean, the monoclonal antibodies have pretty much been discounted now. They haven't really been helping people that much. All the authorized vaccines, the duration is so short. We're talking like every 3 months having to give someone another shot, another jab. I mean, this is the challenge we're having and why it's so critical to get to these next generation vaccines.
David,
through the clinic.
That's so important. I was talking to an ER doctor the other day, you guys, a friend of mine. In fact, I got 2 friends that are ER doctors. And I said, hey, can I get some Paxlovid in my medicine case just in case I get sick? They said, we don't even prescribe it anymore because it just doesn't work. Have you, that's the common, like, remember Paxlovid was the promised land? It's no longer.
Absolutely.
So this is why we're depending on vaccines. Talk about the GeoVax vaccine because this is novel.
Sure.
Let's talk and let's understand it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll just mention when we really got into this phase 2 trial with our GeoVax vaccine, being conducted out at City of Hope National Medical Center there in LA. When we really got into that, and we're doing this direct comparison against both the Pfizer and the Moderna now, but initially it was going to be the randomized comparison. Then they said, oh, we've got to include Paxlovid. Well, now. And so we changed the protocol, and now everybody's saying, why do we waste our time and include Paxlovid? It's useless. So now the difference in the vaccine is this becomes very critical, is that the current authorized vaccines all are structured to address primarily an antibody response, because that's important. The frontline soldiers, so to speak, in the immune system are the antibody system. So by inducing a strong antibody response, it was felt throw that wall up, give that protection, and at least reduce, hospitalization and, let's say, severity of disease. Problem is, this virus just continues to evolve, and even more importantly, are these patient populations for whom the current vaccines are inadequate, mainly because their bodies, due to certain cancers and other conditions, do not mount much of a response to an antibody stimulation. And that's where the GeoVax vaccine, which has been constructed to similarly induce a very strong T cell or cellular immunity. And the data are looking very, very good and very promising when we look at the results in the clinic in patients who are being given either our vaccine or one of the mRNA vaccines. We're seeing the very strong response from the T cell side or the cellular immunity, just as we would hope, and that is intended to give a broader, more robust level of protection, because if the antibody isn't going to respond due to the conditions patients are in, we sure need to then be trying to address something else. And there have been a lot of publications, some just within the last week, coming out about cancer patients having such great need for T-cell stimulation rather than just relying on antibody.
Yeah. I think, David, by the way, David Dodd is the chairman and CEO of GeoVax Labs. GOVX is their stock symbol. And, of course, you can go to geovax.com. You guys had a ton of milestones in 2022, and it was a good year for that. Talk about 2023 real quick before I let you get out of here today. What are you most looking forward to with respect to the milestones, and what can we expect in terms of the FDA story?
Sure, and I would underscore and emphasize to all either existing investors, interested potential investors, that this is a year all about execution from the standpoint relative to data milestones. We will begin to report some level of data milestones both on our COVID-19 vaccine as well as our Gedeptin, which is being developed for people with advanced head and neck cancers. We will also be providing updates. We intend to engage with the FDA and other regulatory authorities to look towards an expedited approval pathway, and also we'll be giving updates on this recent announcement that we made about we had acquired the rights from NIH to become the first, which will result in our becoming the first U.S. supplier of the vaccine for both monkeypox and smallpox. That becomes very critical.
That's some pretty big news. David, got to get you back in studio again. We miss you. Want to get you on more. Unbelievable. GeoVax Labs, stock symbol GOVX is their stock symbol. Here we go.
I completely forgot about monkeypox.
I did too, but guess what? Guess who's got the only game in town?
That's right.
It's like GeoVax, GOVX. All right, guys. Much more Big Biz Show to come. Stand by.